Hey kids, it's me, Kevin Tinkin, reminding you about YouTube, reminding you about EddiePepitone.com and Patreon. All these things are more Apocalypse Soon. Go over there, subscribe, and check them out. And now, let's get into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs, cats, squirrels.
Here's a doggy already, Kev.
Oh, hi, Weedle Puppies. Welcome to Apocalypse Soon, the only podcast recorded in North Hollywood Park among the homeless. And here he is. He's sipping coffee, and I'm loving the outfit. It's Eddie Pepitone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Apocalypse Soon, a podcast with no upside. I mean zero, not a nilch. Zilch, I mean. Nilch is a small leprechaun-like creature that lives in your groin.
It's a me, Nilch. I'm down here. It's a very hot...
I'm down here. I'm a Nilch. And I am the Italian alien in your groin. By the way, that would be fucked up. Everybody thinks aliens. And welcome, everybody. Another episode. I just got back from a brutal road trip where I cracked my fucking back in half. But everybody thinks aliens are going to be, you know, these large, stringy, like, what if they're microscopic and they just go into your groin?
Your
groin area. Like, it's hard to get things out of your pubic hairs.
It is. They could be like little crabs or whatever. No, and the aliens are small. I've from what I've seen.
Really?
Oh yeah, from all the extensive research I've done on the size of aliens.
Okay,
but
no, I
do
think they
seem
could
tiny.
be. I think we're not. We think too much in a linear fashion, you know, like, oh, aliens have to be, you know. I think if aliens come, they are going to come and they're going to nestle between our balls or pussy, whatever. You know what I mean?
Nestled.
Nestle's makes the very best alien. No, you know, I'm thinking about the groin area because I was in upstate New York. Let me just recap this whole incident because
please.
I guess I've talked about it in the audio podcast, but not the visual one, not the one with you.
Thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed the audio podcast that I banged out with a very bad back, just laying there. Mm-hmm. I was laying on the bed with the phone, and I would just go. I didn't really stop.
It was great. No,
yeah.
you.
We haven't got much feedback from those. I guess people do like the visual better, huh?
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I think the people, especially like on Patreon, you know, they want that video, you know, and we got the puppy cam and everything, and this gorgeous sunset and whatnot.
It's
Plus
God,
the
it's
fashion.
really nice today. The rest of the U.S. is suffering from a heat wave. I flew back from. What was it? Cincinnati, Kentucky. Cincinnati, Ohio, but Kentucky I performed in. I didn't know Cincinnati and Kentucky were so close. I don't know anything. Anyway.
It's nice not to be alone, you know? It's good to have... I can relate to that.
So, yeah. So, and it was a heat wave just settling in there.
Yeah.
You know? And I went to Denver from there for a connection flight, and it was 98 degrees in Denver and 94. And it's supposed to bake. The Northeast is supposed to bake, but it's beautiful here.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice. Nice and breezy. It's great. No, so let's break this down now, Eddie. So you were there for a wedding, and part of the celebration was let's all go roller skating, and you jumped up and said, great idea.
Yeah. Yes. Well, the couple getting married, my sister's stepson, a doctor, and he was marrying a doctor. Luckily, when I fell, I was surrounded by doctors. Do you know that?
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, because it was the whatever they call the night before party. Yeah. You know, and there were a lot of young people. So, but I used to rollerblade.
Yeah.
Someone pointed out that rollerblading is so much different than roller skating, and I tend to agree now.
Yes.
So anyway, I took 4 steps, and my feet went out from under me, and I fell back with no bracing at all. Now, I was told, and all the doctors, I was surrounded by a team of doctors.
Yes.
You know?
Mm-hmm. It finally seems like that's what you've always wanted. To have a team of doctors.
When I was on the floor, I said, "Can I have you all on retainer?" I still managed to be funny, even in my most distressing. Actually, I wasn't funny at all. They were going, "Oh, you were right," and I was like, "No." I was being honest. I am not all right. But they also, which was a little annoying, they kept asking me if I hit my head, because that's the big worry.
That's the big.
And I said, no. Are you sure you didn't hit your head? I said, God damn it, no.
Yes.
No, because I think I would have been gone. But
yeah.
As it is, I've had a bit of a rough recovery, got x-rays. Unbelievably, I thought I broke ribs, but I just kind of fucked up cartilage. I'll get off of this topic, but
no, I think, but I want to know, here's what I want to know is like, was there any point at which you were like, maybe this is a bad idea
with the skates?
Yeah, like as
right
you were
away,
lacing them up.
Right away, I felt they didn't fit me great.
Yeah.
I felt like, they could have been tighter around my ankle.
Yep.
Oh, there's a crow. Hi, baby. Man, some of them really cry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hello. Is there? There's a. All right. Anyway. Anyway, you see all the sights here in the parks, folks. You don't see what we see a lot of the time.
That's true.
We see a lot more joy and sadness than you in this park, and this park is an amalgam of joy and sadness.
It really is.
Anyway, I was thinking of the groin area thing.
Thank you.
Because I was in upstate New York, Woodstock, Hudson Valley.
Yeah.
And, ticks up there are a huge thing.
Really?
Yeah, and they're spreading all over the country. This is another effect of climate breakdown.
The ticks
By
spread.
the way, this is a fan of the podcast. This crow you hear right there. That's Al Simmon Johnson.
Hey.
Al Simmon Johnson. And he has been a fan forever, and he heckles us. And I'll just translate what he's saying. Keep up the good work. You guys are great.
I love this bit.
Do driving in the rain. Yes, we will, Al.
So anyway, you're lacing them up. You fall on your back. You didn't hit your head. They kept asking you, doctors.
I was on to the tick thing, but yeah, go ahead.
No. Well, did you take an ambulance out there?
No. No paramedics came because the doctors were like, I got up on my own power, they gave me ice, put it on my back, and from there it was just a lot of Advil. And I finally got x-rayed, and nothing was broken.
Well, that's good.
Like a week later.
I love seeing you doing things under your own power. You know what I mean? It's always nice to see the power.
I tell you, I had PTSD for a while. I mean, the force that I hit with was really heavy duty. So we had to drive upstate, like after the wedding, a day or so after. And I was in the car. And I'm never like this. I was really afraid there was going to be an accident. Yeah. And that had to be some PTSD shit going on with me.
Yeah, I mean...
I was like, what if we get... In my head, I'm like, what if we get in an accident?
Yeah. No, they say that, when guys have something, like an event, as you get older, and a lot of times it'll be like a heart attack or something.
Take it easy, pal.
No, but like...
No, I don't have... my ticker, it's okay, not great. They're working on it. I have a lot of people working on the heart.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Issues of the heart. But no,
the heart is a lonely hunter.
It really is. But they say, when that happens, you realize your mortality, and it really sinks in.
Fuck yes.
And
that, that's funny you bring that up because, dude, I felt like that so intensely.
Yeah.
Because the doctor, one of the doctors said, make sure you just don't fucking lie down all the time. Walk as much as you can.
Yeah.
So I took that to heart. And the next day, I was walking around my sister's block in Forest Hills, Queens, a long city square block, and I just felt so old.
Yeah. Yeah.
And usually I'm young mentally, but I realize I have to be really careful. And I gotta whatever.
When your back's fucked up, you can't do anything. Like it's every movement hurts. So but
I haven't
you're on
been
the right
sleeping
track.
that much. Yeah.
Once you you get back in the gym, get the back, get those muscles going again, you'll be 100%.
Right. So I got to see how long this is going to take, but I'm doing pretty good. I only take the Advil at night.
You've been having a lot of masseuses over?
A lot of what?
Masseuses and
I don't want to talk about that on the air,
all
but
right, hey,
but
fine.
yes, they're and it's a company called the Underground Masseuse, and it's a person who is on the lam, from different states for, well, let's just call it what he does. He's a gun runner. He smuggles guns into third world countries, which means us. By the way, yesterday the United States dropped bombs on Iran, and so now we'll see what happens there. These motherfuckers, man, they never stop with the war, right? They fucking, they don't know what they're doing. They manufactured another war. I just want to get this out before we get into our life. Well, this is our life. I mean, they manufacture wars. Iran did not have any nuclear capability. There was, reports from, I believe it was the International Atomic Energy Commission. So they fabricated this war just like they did with Iraq. This one heavily influenced by Israel, just monsters are in power, and, all of that money and manpower, and now everybody's unsafe because there's going to be tremendous blowback.
Yeah.
And our country is falling apart physically. You travel the country and roads are so fucked up.
Oh, they're bad.
You really know it when you have a bad back, because every time a car hits a bump, that's how they should test roads, by the way. They should test roads like this, folks. Highway commissions should get someone who was recently injured roller skating. He's over 60. Put him in the back seat of a car and floor it.
Yes. I mean, it's just like it's perfect Pepitone, because your empathy, it's just on full display here. You have a bad back, and you're not focused on your pain. You're going, we need to fix these roads for the for the world, for the country.
So our infrastructure's falling apart. Yet we start another war by people who don't understand the Mideast. They don't understand any of it. And they're these neocons, and they fucking cheerlead war. Dylan said it best. Masters of War should be listened to by everybody now. But anyway, it's business as usual, I guess. And I don't know, man. It's funny, too, being a comedian now, because, I feel like there are audiences that I can talk about this stuff in front of. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk about this in certain clubs, like, let's say, in St. Petersburg, Florida, during spring break.
Yeah.
Like spring break. And I'm like, hey, kids, none of you have a future. What? What are you talking about?
We should do you do a set at spring break.
Yeah.
All right, guys, great wet t-shirt
Can we
contest.
CGI in like a bunch of teenagers behind me?
Yeah, we can make this happen for sure. Well, here he is, guys. Great wet t-shirt contest now for the comedy stylings.
Yeah, great wet t-shirt contest, and also, man, drink up. Let's do a shot of Jaeger. Okay, right before the next comment. Let's
fucked up.
Let's do a shot of Jaeger, and now Eddie Pepitone. Let me tell you something. These warmongers who are dropping bombs in the Mideast, all of them never have fought a war, nor have their children. How are you, spring breakers?
Woo! The guys start taking their beer caps off slowly.
Yeah.
The women start putting their tops back on.
They put their tops on. Anyway, I what do you think about that, Kev? Because you're not as political as me.
No, I have found myself with the wrong information almost my entire life. So I have a hard time taking a stance on certain things.
Well, Well, I have found, great sources of information, mainly Chris Hedges, which I talk about all the time, Noam Chomsky. Like you have to know who to read.
Yes.
You do. You have to read scholars and, Edward Said and, people who know the Mideast and aren't bought and paid for by AIPAC or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, that was supposed to be Trump, That was supposed to be
right.
The guy,
well,
he wasn't in politics.
He'll say anything and do anything. And now he's saying that's just a one-off. Well, we'll see if it's a one-off because Iran has the capability to strike back and stuff. But anyway, as far as doing comedy and politics, I think it's almost unavoidable these days.
Yeah.
I mean, they're throwing people in vans without due process. They're still. I mean, did you see a video? I saw this on Instagram. A video of they're tracking down people in Hollywood. Did you see
everywhere? Anywhere where somebody's in the country illegally, they're going to get them. That's the mandate from Trump.
They're just sowing fear and taking attention away from the fact that there's going to be another $1 trillion tax cut for rich people. But I don't know. I feel like for me, I have to talk about it on stage because comedy is great, but it's got to be relevant too, no?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, I don't worry about you talking about that type of stuff because you have a very
Why?
strong...
I have a bad back.
You have a strong perspective, and you are a comedian first and foremost.
That's true.
So I can't imagine you being up there and railing against something that you're passionate about, and not
being
getting
funny.
A laugh out of it.
Right.
I don't think you could even do that. I think you would have a hard time, even if somebody said, "Hey, Eddie, deliver a serious speech." You probably would still throw.
By the way, I
comedy
gave a
in
little speech at the wedding. The wedding was the day after my roller skating accident. I didn't even think I was going to make it, but I made it. I was on a lot of Advil, and I injected the Advil into the head of my penis.
Oh, you got No,
you can do that now with Advil Helper. Have you seen Advil Helper?
I haven't.
It's a guy from Jamaica who helps you inject it into your penis. He's a nice guy.
Let me find a vein,
Let
Mr.
me
Pepitone.
find a vein, sir.
Yeah, you got some real big veins down here,
Oh,
Mr.
you
Pepitone.
do. Is that the 2-inch killer I've been hearing a lot about?
Sorry. That's the Sergeant of Slaughter. I've been hearing so much
Sergeant of Slaughter. Oh, man. So I went to the wedding, and it was a great wedding. It was really sweet, very loving, very fun. And I gave a little speech about who the hell. I got up there, and you're supposed to talk about the couple. And I was like, look, who the hell decided to do a roller skating party the night before a wedding? What's next, guys? Skydiving before, And I go, I know I'm supposed to be talking about these two, and I just went off a little bit,
That's.
But I am
perfect.
a laugh junkie. You're right. I couldn't be, if you're gonna, as a comic, do politics, you got to be funny about it.
Yeah, and you know what you believe, so you can play around in that space, I mean, my favorite times watching you and most comics is when they're kind of off the rails and kind of, into something passionate and not necessarily like, hey, take my wife or, I've never loved a setup punchline joke, so if it's a commentary,
You never loved the setup punchline?
I mean, I love Dangerfield.
Right. The guys who do it good. Galifianakis always did it pretty good.
Yes. But especially for me, like if I write a setup punchline, and I have a bunch of them, but like it does. There is a cheapness that I feel. I don't know, and maybe that's probably another wrong feeling that I have.
It is. You're beset by wrong feelings, I think.
I know, it's no good. That's how I was raised.
Welcome to Wrong Feelings, the podcast that examines Kevin Tinkin's inner life.
Coming up next, bad opinions. Yeah, but no, I guess I see it done badly a lot too. The kind of stereotypical stuff or whatever. But guys like Jay London or whatever, who's just his setups in the punchline, like stuff like that. I'm like, that's very unique. Like, and it's a different take on it.
But Jay is kind of the joke. Like,
yes.
He is such a character.
Yes.
If you don't know Jay London, look him up. Wow.
I was brought up on charges.
I was what?
I was brought up on charges. Like
yeah. They're very bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. I got a step ladder. I never knew my real ladder. He's got a lot of those.
I got a step ladder. I never knew my real. Yeah, to me, that isn't my style because I feel like I got to say something up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
let me go over
and
here.
He always has the catchphrase of "It'll be over soon, folks. Don't worry."
Yeah. Would you kick my ass?
Would you kick my ass? When's the last time you saw Jay London?
I saw him like last week. He was at the store hanging out.
Was he?
Yeah, he pops in for a potluck sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Sundays and Mondays, which has been good.
All right.
So
So then I went to upstate New York, and everybody they're not really paranoid about ticks, but they have to watch it, and a lot of people get Lyme disease, and it can be crippling if you don't get it in time.
Yeah.
And then, so I was up there worried about that, and I'm like walking through the grass a lot.
That's
I go to
this
this
big mistake.
No, I mean, you can't, like, if you live up there, it's so gorgeous. You don't want to just be, like, in the house. Don't go out of the house, Margaret.
Don't walk through the tall grass, Eddie.
Don't walk through the tall grass. So anyway, I was up there, and this is just my life, and I'm up there thinking about ticks. The New York Times has a front page article about ticks that are just... They're expanding and they're moving across the country, armies of ticks.
That's wild.
Much like Alexander the Great, the way, or Caesar, the way the conquerors were, the ticks now. Anyway, and the first sentence of the fucking article, and this is just so typical, is ticks in the Hudson Valley. And that's exactly where I was. And deers are all over. Like, I had, by the way, my nicest fucking interaction. I was my friends have a screened porch. Ooh. And a mama deer and a baby deer, a little baby deer was the mama deer didn't come near me, but the baby deer was running, right next to the screen, and I would hear it squeak, squeak, squeak.
Yeah.
But they carry a lot of ticks, deer ticks.
Yeah, but they're
so
cute.
Anyway, what happened was that then I'm soaping up later on, like I try to keep clean. You never know when any an invitation's going to come.
Yeah,
to a dance or
ice cream social.
An ice cream social. Do they still have that, even with AI coming?
They really ought to. We could get open some soda shops up. Get a sock hop.
We should start that again.
Be fun.
You know what's going to be big because of all this dystopian technology is retro stuff like that. That's gonna. We should start a show. By the way, whatever happened to our fucking show?
It's still in the works.
What happened at the Comedy Store?
It's still in the works.
What does that mean? That pisses me off.
I'm supposed to get a date very soon, so we shall
I'm going to have to handle this. They don't respect you.
Feel free. Yeah, I won't mind.
No,
but I've talked to
I forget her name that we spoke to.
Yeah, we've talked.
And the Improv, we had a great show, nothing.
Yep. No, I talked to her just yesterday again. So.
And what'd she say?
We're gonna get a date soon. We just have to sit down with the calendar and get it. And I literally was like, anytime between these 3 months.
You know what? I can't deal with these people. You know why? If they would have said to me, we got to sit down with the calendar, I would have said, "You motherfucker, we told you this shit months ago."
Yes. Yeah. Like a month ago. Yeah. We told them it was
Longer than that.
Yeah. When I first started working there is when I was like, hey, let's get this over here.
Anyway, I have no patience anymore.
I know.
I just don't. I feel like comedy should be rewarded on merit, and it is not. It's rewarded on, how popular are you? And
Yes.
the mass, the great part of popularity are idiots. Like the people who have huge following are largely morons.
Yes.
Largely, not everybody, but
Yes.
largely.
Or disingenuous at best,
They're
like,
what?
Disingenuous and manipulative. Like, there's I've seen plenty of guys who've like created YouTube channels where it's just for kids and like, they're just like doing these different things and just try to get.
And they get all these.
Oh yeah.
Should we start a children's channel?
I mean, it could be very successful. We could literally just unwrap toys on this channel, and we could have
and we
millions
could
and
say
millions of
it's
views.
our hands, but we get somebody else to do it.
Have AI hands do it, and then we'll do AI videos.
Well, we could take a lot of blowback for that.
I know.
Pushback.
At least we would be
blowback.
getting millions of views out of it, But yeah, look up sometime. Feel free out there. Look up toy unwrapping videos.
They're still popular?
Oh yeah, I mean, because parents want to put it on for their kids, and there's like kids YouTube where there's all these type of things. I bet.
Is there something called Kids YouTube? It's like a
Yes.
separate.
Yeah. YouTube Kids. So you have to have a very
YouTube
specific
Kids.
type of content for it.
Right. So Apocalypse Soon would be a no-go?
I think they wouldn't love it, but we could
Hey,
definitely.
Mom! Can I watch Apocalypse Soon? Don't you dare. Oh, they're doing Alan Margaret. The last time I heard Alan Margaret, little Timmy, they were having sex in a jazz club. Yeah, but I like it. That's a raven, by the way, not a crow. Sorry you can't see all of this, folks, but the ravens are bigger than the crows, and their beaks are a little curved.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, that's just a reminder. Go over to Patreon. If we can get this thing big enough, we'll have raven cams. We'll have, creepy. We can even have creep cams where we have a cameraman that just looks for the ladies in the park. You know what I mean? If we get this Patreon up high enough.
All right.
Apocalypse Soon is sponsored by Chubbies. Get your legs out of their denim prison. It's time to show off those thighs with Chubbies. Chubbies' lined swim collection is all you'll want to bring on vacation. Made from a quick-dry stretch fabric with a built-in liner that actually works. Say goodbye to chafing and dripping all over the Airbnb. Have you been wearing
Dripping all over the Airbnb.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, I thought that's what Airbnbs were made for, to drip.
People are really they're really clamping down on these Airbnbs. You can't drip anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've been wearing the Chubby shorts.
Yes, they're nice. They are nice. They're really comfortable, and the swimsuit is great too. So I can heartily recommend this without any reservations.
Yeah, no, it was pretty solid. Once the sun goes down, change into a pair of their eyewear shorts. Oh, here we go. Once the sun goes down, change into their pair
What
of
is eyeweir?
I said it wrong. Everywhere.
God, I'm glad I interrupted.
I know. Wear their pair of their everywhere shorts. They're so comfortable and go with you. Guess what? Everywhere, Eddie. No more stressing and finding an outfit your wife will approve of. Whether you're suiting up for cannonballs, cookouts, or casual Fridays, Chubbies has you covered. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off your order with code EDDIE at chubbiesshorts.com/Eddie. That's code EDDIE at chubbiesshorts.com/Eddie. Support our show and let them know we sent you. Summer's here. Dress like it in Chubbies.
Chubbies. Okay. So anyway, let me finish this stupid fucking story. I read this article in the Times, and they say ticks like to go to moist, warm areas, i.e. the groin. So I'm soaping up later on because I'm thinking maybe there's an ice cream social going to pop up, and my back hurts, but maybe there's a cot for me, a nice, a cot for the elderly.
Yep.
There's our buddy Triffin.
Shout out to Kirby.
Shout out to Kirby. Kirby's a nice little white, fluff doggy.
Super cute.
Little terrier mutt kind of dog.
Super cute little puppy.
It's got Charlotte's face. Anyway.
So you're soaping up.
So I'm soaping up, and I had read that article. So I feel around my groin, and sure enough, I feel a little bump. And I couldn't get it off. And they say to get a tick off, you have to use a tweezer. I don't know if it was a tick, and I still don't know because I can't see. But then I realized I could take a picture of it with my phone. But then I don't want to. You see, here's the problem with taking a picture of my groin with my phone is that I don't want to accidentally send that to somebody that I'm fond of.
Yeah.
Or a stranger, even worse. Here's my audition tape. You know how you click photos and sometimes you click the wrong fucking photo.
Oh, yeah. You mean to send it to Dr. Samerstein, but you accidentally just send it to Sarah Silverman.
Sarah would be into it, but I'm just saying that I don't want to accidentally send a picture of my groin to people who abide by the rules in society.
So did you, were you able to determine?
No. And no, I haven't.
I just see you in the bathroom.
I can't. Yeah,
with your leg up in the phone,
right.
With a bad back too, trying to be flexible.
I was just so overwhelmed by everything because my back is killing me, and then I'm like, is this a tick? Am I going to get Lyme disease on top of this? All of this shit.
I mean, you were frolicking in a field, which is the number one way to get
I don't know if
ticks.
I was frolicking, but
that's not what I heard. There was a lot of reports of you frolic. I said, he's supposed to have a bad back. They said, he's out here frolicking, getting covered in ticks.
But, so we'll see. I don't have any symptoms yet.
Did you have your primary caregiver take a look? No. You may.
No, I'm going to see my GP this week, and he's not going to be happy about it because I often ask him to touch me in places.
You tell me I'm alive, Doc, but I don't feel alive unless you put your hands on me.
Come on, Doc. By the way, Doc, why are you always smoking a cigarette when you're in here with me? My doctor smokes a cigarette while he's examining me.
Well, he's old school.
He's an old school. He carries a little black bag, and he arrives at the office on a horse.
Well, he prescribes.
He's the best I could get with the healthcare I have.
Yeah.
It's called the Old West healthcare system.
He always prescribes either cocaine or heroin. That's also the weird thing about him. But
he still thinks cocaine is in Coca-Cola, which I tell him it's not.
He goes, you get bad back, have a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, right, have a Coca-Cola. So anyway, I also have been off of weed for 33 days, and that feels good.
Yeah.
That was funny when you said, well, I have 30 minutes. And I congratulated you because that's what people do who get clean. They're like, good for you. No matter how much time you
That's right. Well, I'll
good
tell you,
for you.
I have it all in the car, and as I was grabbing all the gear to set this up here, I had my fanny pack of freedom, which is my weed fanny pack, and I left it in the car. I mean, so it's one step at a time. It's over there. It's not right here, which is a big.
Well,
step
if I was on the wagon, if I was smoking, I would say, let's stop the podcast now. You go to the car. But anyway, I've just made a decision that I enjoy life enough. I'm happy. We'll see what happens. because I've made these proclamations before, but
Yes.
this is the longest I've done in like a year. Like,
Oh, that's great.
you know what I mean? Like, I think I'm over a hump with this bullshit, but I shouldn't even talk about it. But
I've talked to I've talked to a guy who he quit drinking because on the first
that's a big one.
on the first he woke up and didn't know where he was, and he was in the
On
middle
the
of,
first
of
of
a
June?
street. Yeah.
Oh, in the
like-
middle of a street,
Like 4 a.m.
blackout drunk,
Blacked
huh?
out. So he quit drinking, and there's been a lot of guys around that have been like decided to kind of take it easy, and all of them. Every time somebody says that, every time they always go, "I feel so much better."
And then they relapse.
Yes, because you forget. It's like
You do.
I'm like, I don't need my SSRIs. I'm doing pretty good. And then I
So true.
take a break, and then
So
3 weeks later, I'm going, I hate
true.
myself. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's my story. Now, what have you been up to? I was gone for almost a month.
Yeah, well, I've been controlling the drone strikes for the U.S. government for the most of the time you were gone.
Well, as long as it's steady.
Yes, it's steady work. It's
we
a
were
paycheck.
talking to Triffin,
Yeah,
and he has a steady gig. Triffin, who owns Kirby. I don't think you saw him. He was
No.
behind the camera. But he said he's got a steady gig and with benefits. And I was like, good, man, because most people don't. They're going to be replaced by AI soon. They're talking about replacing truckers
yes,
with AI,
Mm-hmm.
And what are people going to do? The hordes of people are going to be out of work. They're talking about a UBI, which is Universal Basic Income.
yeah.
We'll see. It's gonna, like I told Triffin, a lot of shit's gonna go down the next couple of years. A lot.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things that are in the works where the UBI
Uh-huh.
is more realistic than it ever has been. There's more possibilities of it, but it's also
people-
who the fuck knows? We can't trust any of these guys.
No, but people are going to need it if these fucking idiots, keep eliminating
Yeah.
jobs.
You can't work anymore, and then they're not going to give you the money from from your job that they replaced, and it's like, yeah, there's got to
Right.
be there's got to be an answer to this, but
Or else there'll be fucking, pitchforks,
yeah,
guillotines. I'll tell you what a good job will be: guillotine maintenance. No, you have to have somebody to maintain the guillotine.
well, you got to keep the neck hole clean, because
the neck hole
if you get
has to be clean.
it got to be clean.
And it should be rubbed with a little Vaseline around like a rim, rim of the neck hole.
Keep the blade sharp, the neck hole clean.
Keep the blade and so guillotine maintenance, there'll be a lot of ads for that.
Little linseed oil on the neck hole just to keep
Linseed oil.
Yeah, just to keep it.
There's something funny about the word neck hole.
Yeah. Dude. Well, I mean,
So what's been going
even though
on?
everybody's dying and people losing their jobs and livelihoods and whatnot, I had a great set at.
Hey, look, we may have started another quagmire in the Mideast, killing hundreds of thousands of people, but last night at the Comedy Store, I think I had a breakthrough.
Pretty good set.
No, what happened?
I opened the
The main room.
The main room, 380 people in there.
380.
Yeah, it was wild. And
Nice, so it was packed.
yeah, I'm backstage.
And you're doing the cold open.
Yes. Yeah, so 5 minutes before shows start, I'm backstage. Argus Hamilton's back there.
Yes.
Probably one
Argus?
of the oldest comedy guys at the Comedy Store.
Oh, I think he is.
Yeah,
He's
been
got
there.
a guaranteed spot or spots from Mitzi Shore.
Yes.
He's been there forever. Argus
Absolutely.
comes out in a suit.
Yes.
He's a one-liner guy.
Yeah, no,
Speaking of one-liners,
he is
Very
a true
funny guy.
professional. Like he's very funny. He does his,
he doesn't tour though, does he?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
He's a smart man.
Yeah.
I love touring, but I hate the traveling of it.
Yes.
It's tough on fucking my mental. I had a flight 5 minutes before it was supposed to take off on Delta. The fucking cocksuckers, a little announcement like this.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to fly from Albany to Pittsburgh. And 2 minutes before I hear, ladies and gentlemen, and it's mumbly,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, We have a problem with our safety radar.
Is it Charles Nabisco flying?
I don't know. Hey, you ever have a problem with your safety radar? And your plane crashes into the side of a mountain and everybody becomes mush? We have. And then Nabisco. We got a plane cookie. Radar safety radar cookie. Anyway, 2 minutes before, they're like, so we're going to have to cancel the flight. And then I don't know if you've ever been in a canceled flight situation, but everybody runs to the ticket counter. And I'm just sitting there going, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, it sucks.
I really lose my shit in those. But it wasn't my first rodeo, so I got on the phone and I was able to, like, book another flight through another airline.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know? And I went up to the person at the counter just to give them a little shit, and I said, hey, you know why people fly your airline? And he just looks at me and I go, because they all suck. You all suck. We don't have a choice. And I just walked away. And that's the truth. All the airlines suck.
Yeah.
They're all crowbarring people in.
Oh yeah.
They all supposedly have low fares, but then they charge you for anything. You know, you're supposed to have one little carry-on. If there's a lump in your leg, and let's say it's a tumor, you will get charged for a tumor. A tumor. That's not a tumor, sir. That's a carry-on. You want to see it? Not really.
Either put a seatbelt on her and put her in the overhead compartment.
And you're gonna have that's $40, sir. Fuck them all.
Yeah, I've had some really good sets. I've been writing a lot. I've been doing.
But you didn't finish the story about you did 9 minutes.
Yeah, so Hamilton,
Argus
Hamilton's in the back, and he's like giving me the tips. He's like, "Oh, say for this room, like do this, and don't look at the back. Just look at the people in front of you. Go set up, punchline. Like go. It's a big stage. Use the whole stage. And other than that, just have fun. All right. Went out there, had a great set. Wasn't getting the light. And that's perfect for me.
And you had a great set.
Yeah, it was.
Would be scared. That would scare me.
The cold
to go up first. So good. You know what this is doing for you, man. I think it's making you somewhat bulletproof.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the guy that I was talking with.
Bushka. There's a little pug who is obsessed with this little ball, deflated like soccer ball.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did. So I go up and there's people coming in and waitresses taking orders and stuff, but I'm getting them. And he just wasn't lighting me, and it was perfect because I just kept going. Because the bit that I'm in, I'm supposed to have more time to do it, but I chop it, I crush it down to make it 5 minutes. Gosh, this is a cute dog.
I know. Folks, this is the podcast where we describe dogs that you cannot see when helicopters are behind us.
You get quite a unit on him.
It's funny how your mind and eyes go to that. I don't know what that says about you.
I don't know either. But I've been doing more voices on stage.
Excellent.
I
gotta do that.
Absolutely. Well, dude,
voices free you, because the thing that imprisons us on stage is our little voice, is the little fucking critical voice that's like, okay, you're not doing that good. But when you start doing a silly accent or something, you just feel funny.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Dude, that's the other thing. So Don Barris closes it out every night in the main room.
Does he
still? In the original room, I mean. Yeah.
In the OR or
in the OR.
Who closes the main? Used to be Holtzman after Brody died.
Yeah, it's mixed up quite a bit.
And Holtzman went to Austin, didn't he?
Yeah, I know. What's his name? He's loosely related to the Kennedys.
Loosely
my
related?
God, I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter. Earl Skakel. Boom, got it.
Oh,
yeah. Earl Skakel closed it out last night in the main.
Earl is a good main room closer at night.
Yes,
he's off the wall, and I forget he's loosely related to the Kennedys. That is such a funny thing.
It's so funny the things my brain remembers when I'm trying to remember someone's name. But he closed it out. So Don closes it out in the original room pretty regularly, and the door guys heckle him. Like, that's one of the things that kind of goes on, and we get him into his other bits. We also call him a lot. So
what do you mean?
I'll call him 2 or 3 times when he's on stage in the original room, and I'll be like,
oh, he leaves his phone on?
Yeah, I go, Mr. Barris, it's me, the president of show business. We'd love to get your name.
And he puts it up to the mic?
Yeah.
That's great.
The whole bit is, because he does this bit about how Jim Carrey used to do impressions, and he would crush, and then he became famous, and then he came back, and he was like, I'm not going to do impressions anymore. It was too easy. And then so Don's whole thing is, he could pull his dick out at any time, and the audience would go absolutely ape shit, but he won't do it.
It's too easy.
It's too easy. So when we call him, it's always like, hey, this is a president, and I just...
Pull your dick out.
Yeah, pull your cock out. So that's always the thing. Or like, Donald Trump said he'll release the hostages, release the hostage immigrants, but you just got to show that big, beautiful cock, and so it always gets a big laugh. But I've been calling in with different voices like 3 times a night, and it's been so fun.
That's one thing to do it that way. But when you're on stage doing your act, are you doing that? Are you doing some voices? Because that's the big thing, I think.
I started doing this. I had to get into it because I was like, I do this thing called the Jambalaya Therapist from my way, way old podcast where I go, Eddie, your problems ain't all about one thing. You're focusing on one thing. It'd be like if there was just one ingredient in a jambalaya. Could you imagine jambalaya with just rice, Eddie? So that's...
So it's Creole, little Creole.
Yeah, so I had to figure out how to get into it. So I basically tell people that to get into it, I'm like, I got a voiceover audition. So, because then I'm also thinking I want people to think of me in that, light or whatever. And I am supposed to do a Creole accent. And I'm like, isn't that a black accent? And they're like, no. The character is he's a
you share it with the
yeah. And so then I go, you guys tell me what you think. And
they used to do a funny one on SNL. I forgot who used to do it.
Creole
might have been Dana Carvey or something.
Probably. I mean,
when that show was remotely funny.
Yes.
Let's show them. We got a nice gift from our buddy Fox
Froth.
Froth.
Yes, that's right. Where did I?
Let's show it to him.
Yeah, right here.
Folks, we got a nice gift sent to us.
Yeah, this was
by our man Fox Froth and his dog Guapo, and we just want to shout out the S.U.CC. The Sucks Part 1, and just want to thank Frothland.
Yeah.
And the Sucks, I'll just read you a little bit. So, if you want to send a gift, just send it. The Sucks is the story of Spoon, Utters, Click, Chairman, and Squeals. 5 children considered such a problem in their respective classes, the school created a special education class for them. In part 1 of the series, Squeals wakes up blindfolded, gagged, and tied to a chair with no idea how he ended up in this situation. He somehow knows where he is and that all 5 of them are there in the same situation. Squeals slips in and out of consciousness, and it seems the more he remembers from their past, the more he learns about the present. And it goes on. But thank you so much, Fox.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
Mr. Fox Froth and
Very
Guapo,
nice.
his beautiful pit bull. So thank you. You want to
let's wrap
drum
her up.
us out?
Hey, folks, thanks for stopping by the Apocalypse Soon podcast and checking us out here in Mother Nature. If you want more of this podcast, we got you covered. YouTube, we've got every single episode that we put out on there. We put some sketches out there, individualized things, so just guided meditation or whatever you like. It's all on there. So go over there and subscribe. We're creeping. We're just getting so close.
And next podcast we'll do a lot of bits. I got in yesterday. I'm exhausted.
Oh, we got to catch up though. Too. We haven't seen each other in a while.
And we haven't seen each other.
I love it when we go, wait, we've been talking how long?
I know.
That's my favorites. Yeah, so go over to YouTube, Apocalypse Soon. I believe it's youtube.com/Eddie Pepitone, where you can just search Eddie Pepitone. You'll see it on there. And then go over to Patreon for $5 or $20. You can get this podcast the day it comes out. Plus Eddie Pepitone's full stand-up sets from some sets here at the Improv, the store, and just around town. And then go to eddiepepitone.com and you can find out when he's coming to your neck of the woods. And subscribe to us on Instagram and all that stuff.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside.